Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I'm super happy because we're on to episode 10 of Drawing Your OCs, and this is a really special episode because I decided to draw 3 OCs instead of just 2, which took a lot longer, and that is why this video is so long. I didn't want to speed up the speed paints too much and then they would go by way too quickly and it would be a bit hard to watch, so I tried to keep it longer just so you guys could see the process properly, and hopefully you don't get too bored of me rambling on. But yeah, this is episode 10. I'm so hyped because I love making this series. Like, this is the longest running series I've ever had on my channel. I've done other series before, like the Draw This Again series, which is where most of the people that have subscribed to me have actually come from my Draw This Again videos. So you'll be very happy to hear that tomorrow, Sunday, I have another Draw This Again video coming, and it's either going to be one of 2 things, but I don't want to reveal which old drawings I'm going to be redrawing yet. I want to leave it as a surprise for tomorrow, but like I said, there are going to be 3 OCs being drawn in this video, and I've dedicated 5 minutes to each, and I will be talking about the backstory while the character is on screen, because I know in some previous videos I haven't got the timings right and it's been really irritating. So I'm going to tell you about the OCs now. So this first OC is called Lily, and this OC was emailed to me, so I don't have an Instagram account. I don't believe I have an Instagram account linked to this OC, but if I do find the account, I will put the name in the description. So definitely check out the description if you want to follow the artist whose OCs were featured in this episode. So this is Lily. She used to be a little lamb. She lived at a farm, but a fire burnt it down. She was left without owners, and she also lost her mother and her sister. She wandered around for weeks before some guy found her. He put an ear tag on her, and scared of the pain, she ran away. That's when she finally found her best friend, a goat called Elia. Elia was living with a beautiful elf girl, Irina. Irina was really alone, so Lily and Elia were her only friends. They helped her master the art of magic and helped her guard the fire in the brave people. For return of their help, Irina turned Lily and Elia into humans, but as she wasn't yet perfect at doing magic, Lily is now stuck with her ears and eyes. So that is why she has like the goat-like appearance still. Well, I mean the lamb-like appearance still, with the eyes looking like that of a lamb. Lily is a sweet girl and loves everything that shimmers or is really girly. She has light pink hair and hazel brown eyes. She has a moon on her forehead and it aches on the full moon. Lily is kind of a no-brainer. She does stuff without thinking twice and ends up hurting people by accident. But when that happens, she panics and spends hours trying to make them feel better. She's shy and often gets scared of loud noises. She likes to collect flowers. Lilies are her favourite, and that's where her name comes from. She's very gentle and friendly and always sees good in people. And when it comes to irony, lambs are usually super stubborn, so it's quite ironic that her character is quite the polar opposite of that. Lily is kind of a pushover. So that is Lily's backstory. I thought it was really sweet how it's kind of like a tale of friendship, how through this friendship she's now got a human form, but I like that she still maintains part of her animal form. I also really like the inclusion of the tag still being there on her ear. And actually, something I want to talk about in this video, I haven't even mentioned it yet. I'm not using Paint Tool Sy, I'm using Critter. And you guys might be thinking, what? Because I have sworn by Paint Tool Sy for such a long time, and that's really the only painting software I ever use. Well, I have been like binge watching videos by Sarah Tepes, and I'm in love with her art and her art style and her digital paintings. Like, I can't even put into words how amazing they are and how much I look up to her. Like, she's just my art goals, and she's only a year older than me, and I'm just like, I want to be that good. How is she so good? She's literally so amazing. So I was so inspired by all her paintings to try out Critter properly. I mean, I've always had Critter, but I've always found it difficult to painting. but using her technique of doing the value painting first, so where you do the grayscale painting and then colouring over it, really helped me combat the difficulties that I've had with Critter before, and I was so happy with using it, and I'm really happy with how this came out. The second one, however, the second OC that I'm drawing now, I did have a lot of issues with while I was drawing. It was really difficult for me for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's because the pose I was trying and the angle of the face, it didn't really work out too well. And may I just add that, and I don't really recommend this if you are unaware of how something works, like anatomy, I didn't use a reference for the hand. And I really should have done, because I'm not very good at drawing hands, and I haven't done many hand studies. I've been doing more recently, but this hand came completely just from my head and trying to imagine what the hand would look like in that position. So the middle finger isn't long enough for a start. I do realise that, and I know the hand anatomy isn't perfect, and the neck isn't great either, and the positioning of the arm is all just a bit not great, but you know, anatomy, I'm working on it. And this one I actually started out by putting colours in first, and this was a bad idea. This was a very bad idea. I don't know why, but when I started mixing all the colours, I think it's because I put loads of purple over it, loads of little like purples and blues, it ended up looking really muddy. And that's really not something you want in a digital painting. You want everything to look cohesive and vibrant, and even if you are going for a desaturated piece, you never really want like muddy tones, because it just ruins the whole look of the painting. And I was really annoyed with myself for going in straight in with colours, which is something I'm not really experienced in doing in Critter, because I went straight for doing the value shading first. Also, I found that when I just go in with colours, I always don't use the whole tonal range from dark to light, which is the advantage of doing one of like a grayscale painting. You can see, oh, I don't have much black in this photo, I don't have many darker tones, but I have a lot of lighter tones. So to make the image work a lot better, you can add a lot more contrast to it. So I actually, in the end, was so fed up with how the colours were looking and how her face was looking, that I ended up making it grayscale again by desaturating all the colours and turned it into a grayscale painting, and I was much happier with how it came out when I did that. Also, after I repainted the eyes, I felt like it looked a million times better as well. That's one thing I want to address. If you don't like how a painting is coming out, just keep trying at it. I mean, obviously if you're feeling really defeated and really down about it, then it's probably going to be quite hard for you to do that. But I actually went downstairs, I had a bit of a break, I went and got a smoothie and went for a little walk because I was getting so stressed out about this painting. And after I went for that break, and because I was so stressed out and I'd been working at this for a couple hours, and I wasn't happy with it, so taking that break was so important for me. And then I was like, you know what, I don't like how the face is looking, so I'm going to repaint certain aspects I don't like, and nevertheless it came out a lot better, and I was really happy with it. It's not perfect. Clothing for a start, the thing is, I know how clothing folds work. I know that in any area where it's like tighter, like for example around the shoulders or something, there will be more creasing. I've literally studied parts of this, but I just for some reason didn't want to apply any of the knowledge that I have, so the clothes could have looked a lot better. But I'm going to go into the backstory of this character now, because this is a really interesting backstory. So this is goodiebag_1's OC Anna. She's 17 years old and lives in the city. Anna is many things, but brave is not one of them. She is terrified of the dark, spiders, dolls, and much more. Then she encounters a little boy who, like her, is scared of many things. This boy shows her a place where she has to face her fears. The place is weird and mysterious. They are given puzzles and quizzes to go through each. The further they go, the more dangerous the consequences of losing will get. So I really liked this idea, and like having her have to venture through like rooms of puzzles and quizzes. And I went for a similar kind of look to the one in the reference image, with like a pillar with like the crescent moon on it. I really liked how that looked, but I also wanted to give like a smoky purple effect, like the room was shrouded in this like mist. I don't know. But I was really happy with how that looked. And then to make the whole drawing more cohesive, I added a colour dodge over the top with the purples. And another really cool trick you can do is you can actually one of the advantages to digital art, although this can also apply to traditional art if you scan in your image, is that you can change the curves and the light tones and the dark tones and stuff like that. So the final character that I'm drawing is Sketchy Cass's character, and Sketchy Cass is one of my art friends, and she has a YouTube channel and she also has an Instagram, so you should definitely follow her and subscribe to her because her art is really cool and I really like her art style. She has a very distinct style and I love her character. So she has been consistently entering Marcus into Jenna Draw My OC, and I've always been like, oh, I really want to draw him, but I finally got around to it now, and I really like his backstory, so I'm going to go into it now. So this is like a bit of context and the backstory. So it takes place in Detroit, Michigan in the future, and overpopulation is such a big problem that there are satellites being sent into space for people to live on, and in a test run 100 people were going to be sent up there for 30 years. Marcus' parents had him in space and stuff. So 26 years later, stuff goes wrong and they decide to call it off and bring everybody back. But they all went crazy, formed a cult and killed themselves, and they found poor little Marcus in a sensory deprivation tank, and he's living off tubes and monitors, and presumably he's been living like that forever. But personally, Marcus is very reserved and childish and curious, but he also has severe OCD and paranoia issues that make it very hard for him to be around others, and him having autism makes it even harder for him to communicate. But because of how he grew up, brackets, he didn't really exist for 26 years, he's never been able to make connections, so he's really socially impaired. Most of the culture and values he learns from novels, which in a way works, but once he starts reading about darker themes like death, it really messes him up and ruins him mentally. English also isn't his first language. He's 6'8", so he's outrageously giant, so he sort of has this very masculine and strong body, but a childish, almost girlish personality. His ethnicity is Korean, his full name is Marcus Kim, and he's 26. So, I really, really like her character's design, and his backstory obviously is really sad, but I thought he had such like an adorable design, and I thought it would be fun to paint him, especially because he's Korean, and I've never tried to paint anyone that is Korean. So it was a bit hard for me. I had to use a lot of reference images and also while keeping the likeness of the original character design. So I really hope I did that, and I really hope I did Cass's character justice. But yeah, I love his design, I love his backstory, and all that jazz. So I had a lot of fun painting him. And one final last thing I want to say is that I really want to do a meet the OCs video of all my OCs, because I spend a lot of time drawing your guys' OCs, but I never really draw my own OCs anymore, and I miss drawing my own OCs because I don't know, having OCs is weird. It's kind of like they feel like your children in a way. That sounds really weird. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, or if you're all just thinking, Jenna, what the hell? But I love my OCs because I've had them since I was like 12 years old, because I used to want to be an author. Fun fact, I used to want to write stories and publish books when I was older, but I changed my mind about that. I still want to publish the story in some way, but rather in a comic format, which brings me on to the Ember comic. The Ember comic had to be delayed. I should have mentioned this before. It had to be delayed because although it was nearly finished, the first issue, I then made very massive plot changes that meant that the whole first issue had to be rewritten, which was really annoying. So I don't want to release it until it's 100% perfect and I'm really happy with it and the story is in a way that I want to go. So and now that I I'm using Critter more, I think it will be a lot easier for me to publish it and get the drawings done quicker, because Critter has some really good line work tools. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, Critter is a free software. It's really good and it's free. You don't have to pay for it. So I cannot recommend it enough. Honestly, if you're just starting in digital art, I have questions about this all the time. If you don't know what program to get Critter. I will try to film a tutorial in it, but really I cannot recommend Sarah Teppis's videos enough, because she's so good. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even know how to use the program. So yeah, that concludes today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you again tomorrow with a Draw This Again.